So welcome to the BTS SKYTRAIN SUKHUMVIT Line video. This is a 54-kilometre piece of railway track covering 3 provinces, 48 stations, part of which runs above Sukhumvit Road. I've got to think of unique selling points for each of these 48 stations. So along the way I'll be giving you vital information on things to do, shopping, hotels, nightlife, parks, museums, markets, that kind of thing, as well as condos and places to live where there are less foreigners. Anyway, maybe you're wondering, what am I doing standing on a bridge over a canal in the middle of nowhere? Well, this is where the Sukhumvit Line starts, in a place called Khu Khot. This is the SkyTrain's most rural station, by the way. Anyway, let's chat and let's get going. After leaving Khu Khot, the first station is Yaek Kor Por, and from here it's a short walk to the National Memorial and Military History Museum. This is the first of 3 stations that go past Royal Thai Air Force Army Barracks, and as a result there are barriers on both sides of the elevated structures and in the stations, so you can't look in. The next station, Royal Thai Air Force Museum, needs no introduction at all. This place is definitely worth a visit. Your view from the window, it gets slightly less restricted as we get towards our next station. This is Bhumibol Adulyadej Hospital, and it's a very striking structure, named after the late King Rama IX, of course. After the hospital, the next station is Saphan Mai, and this is named after a nearby bridge going over the Klong Song Canal. And as you know, I love canals, so I've come here to get a few minutes peace and quiet away from the trains and Phahon Yothin Road. Well, I must say the view from the window along Phahon Yothin Road is quite unspectacular as we get towards our next station at Sai Yud. I often wonder what that view will be like in, say, 10 or 15 years' time. When this extension was announced a few years ago, land prices along here shot up. and that can only mean one thing: condos, a few shopping malls, and lots of glass and concrete in the near future. But you never know, you might be around here looking for a condo in 10 years' time. The station at Wat Phra Si Mahathat is unique that it's in the middle of a roundabout. There's also an interchange here with the brand new MRT Pink Line monorail, which is due to open sometime early in 2023. This is also a desirable area, up and coming I suppose you could call it, in the middle of Bangkok district. Don Mueang Airport is not far away. And also, let's not forget Wat Phra Si Mahathat itself, a temple that dates back over 300 years. This station sits alongside the home of the 11th Infantry Regiment, whose barracks are right next to the station, meaning there are barriers up and you can't get a view from the train either approaching or departing. That's a shame, because I'd love to get a peek inside. The next station is alongside the Royal Forest Department, which sits opposite the Royal Thai Army's Chemical Department. I just wonder if there's any hostilities between them. The next station is named after Thailand's first ever agricultural university, Kasetsart, and the area is very much geared towards student life, so there's an abundance of street food around here in the evenings. Well, Ratchayothin is an area I have mentioned in a couple of videos before as a great place to live. And it's a pretty big neighbourhood. It covers at least 3 BTS stations: Ratchayothin, Sena Nikhom and Kasetsart University. There are lots of condos, apartment buildings, and it's the kind of place where you can rent a house as well at a very reasonable cost. For some reason there are a lot of dentists around here. It's almost a foreigner-free zone. So if this place sounds up your street, it's definitely worth checking out. Ratchayothin, put it on your list. This station is close to Ratchayothin intersection where Ratchayothin Road meets Phahon Yothin Road. It's also a future terminus for the MRT Yellow Line extension. Yaek Lat Phrao has an interchange with the MRT Blue Line, and if you're looking to live in an area where there are less foreigners around, check out my area living guide video. This is the station you would get off if you want to visit the famous Chatuchak weekend market. And right next to the market is, of course, Chatuchak Park, a great place for a stroll on a Sunday afternoon. This is also where the BTS headquarters and maintenance depot are. Saphan Khwai is not as fashionable as nearby RE or Chatuchak, but it's a good alternative if you want to be away from the trendy hipsters and have a good selection of condos. I did a video recently about the area. That's definitely worth a look. This is an area so trendy that craft beer bars are running out of flavours and coffee shops around here are running out of countries to get beans from. RE has always been a bit fashionable, but there are some good restaurants around here and they have a villa supermarket. Sanam Pao is home to the oldest house in Phahon Yothin Road. It's in Soi 2 and it dates back well over 130 years. It's also where Phahon Yothin Road begins, and from here it goes all the way to Chang Erawan. Well, if you've ever been in the vicinity of Victory Monument, you'll be familiar with the scraping sound of the trains passing overhead going around the corner. And if you're wondering, the sharpest curve on the Sukhumvit line is here at Victory Monument. And I had this thought the other day, have they ever considered splitting the Sukhumvit line into two sections? They could have Siam to Kheha as the Sukhumvit line and Siam to Khu Khot as the Phahon Yothin line. I did the measuring of the mileage, and the line runs over 23 kilometres of Sukhumvit Road and 22.4 kilometres of Phahon Yothin Road. It will probably cause a bit of a bottleneck at Siam during rush hours, so maybe not a good idea after all. Here's that scraping sound I was talking about, by the way. Here we are. This station has an interchange with the airport rail link, and for many tourists arriving for the first time in Thailand, this area is often the first impression they get of the city. Better than Nana, I suppose. Ratchayothin is a good spot if you're a tourist visiting Bangkok, because you're very close to the centre of the city, but you're away from the mayhem. There's a lot of hotels around here, a lot of good restaurants, bars, street food. You're within walking distance of the canal boat pier, and there's a park nearby where you can chill out with the locals. Biggest station, busiest station on the whole SkyTrain network. It's got to be Siam by a mile, because it's the only place where the two lines meet. It's also a great place to do a bit of train watching as well. On the Skywalk around MBK, you'll have trains to your left, to your right, above and below. It's a rail fan's paradise, so get yourself here and bring a camera. Here in Chit Lom, you're surrounded by shopping options left, right and centre. There's also a lot of top hotels and restaurants in the area. Plus you're within walking distance to Pratunam Pier, where you can get canal boats to the other sides of the city. Phloen Chit is home to many high-end condos, hotels, restaurants and shopping malls. Also Wireless Road is very close by, where there are many foreign embassies. Check out a recent video I did on Chit Lom and Phloen Chit. Nana is an area that needs no introduction whatsoever. It's a centre of the naughty nightlife here in Sukhumvit Road, but sadly a lot of tourists still make the mistake of booking a hotel around here without knowing what they're letting themselves in for. They end up hating the area, hating Bangkok and wasting 2 or 3 days of their trip here. But we know this area is only good for one thing: sex tourism. So if you're a sex tourist and you're coming here, it's simply a matter of checking in, going out and getting stuck in. This is Asok Station, probably the busiest interchange on the Sukhumvit line, apart from Siam of course. And this area is also a focal point for people heading to Sukhumvit Road, because you've got Nana in that direction and Phrom Phong in the other direction. This is Phrom Phong, an area well known for high-end shopping, high-end condos, restaurants, bars, hipster coffee shops with prices so expensive that you'll need open wallet surgery. So unless you're here for any of that, to be honest, it probably isn't your cup of tea. Thong Lo is often dubbed Bangkok's Beverly Hills, although many people beg to differ. I recently did an area living guide around here, so if you're thinking of moving to Thong Lo, then you get a good idea of condo rental prices. Ekkamai, great place to live if you want to avoid the snobbery of nearby Thong Lo, but still want to be within easy reach of all the fancy bars and restaurants there. There is a really famous restaurant around here that does extra spicy food. It's called Bourbon Street and it's just up the road. Definitely worth checking out. I'll leave a link to that in the description. You get the odd group of sex tourists hanging around, but they're not here for long. They just come to take the bus to Pattaya from the Eastern Bus Terminal. When I first moved to Bangkok, Phra Khanong was considered a little bit too far out to live in. But fast forward 21 years, and this is a very vibrant area with a healthy expat community. Someone told me recently this is a great area to live in if you want to stay sober, which is pretty hard to believe. There's some great bars and restaurants around here. One place worth checking out is J Bar and Cafe, and the owner is really nice. This is On Nut, an area very popular with expats. I did a video here last year, and I think the general feeling is that it's got the best things and the worst things about living in Bangkok all mixed together. If you live in On Nut, then it's pretty difficult to avoid the mayhem that surrounds the BTS station, even if you're not taking the train. One solution is to move to Bang Chak. I've heard that Phunawiti is an area populated by many IT professionals and digital nomads. Might be something to do with the True Digital shopping mall that opened there last year. If you're into taking photos or shooting video of trains, then here at Udom Suk is one of the best spots for getting really great long shots of trains going by. Around the Bang Nar intersection, you've got trains going over and under the expressway at lots of different angles, and there's lots of different places to stand and get a great shot as well. But first we've got to get there, and it's at the other end of what I think is probably the longest skywalk on the whole SkyTrain network. A long time ago, the kind of expats who lived in Bang Nar usually had kids going to a nearby international school. That's all changed now since the SkyTrain arrived, and renting a condo around here is pretty cheap. As Bangkok expands outwards, Bering is getting very popular with many foreigners moving to the area. So much so that the Royal Oak pub have opened a branch down here. So maybe they're expecting an influx of British expats. I thought I'd get a few minutes peace and quiet next to the Klong Sam Rong Canal, another canal I can tick off my list, by the way. Back in 2003, my first ever corporate teaching assignment was near here at the Thai Polyphosphate Company. And in those days I had to get the bus all the way down Sukhumvit Road in the afternoon through the traffic, then get a bike from Imperial World shopping mall into the wilderness, middle of nowhere. And I remember thinking back then, you know, you'd never believe the SkyTrain would come out to a place like this, but it has done. The area seems to be improving. There's condos being built, and there's an interchange also being built with the MRT Yellow Line monorail. So the future could be bright around here. The platforms at Pu Chau station are a great spot if you want to get sunset photos. You can get a great shot of the Chang Erawan statue. Great place for exploring around the Chang Erawan station. It's a bit noisy, but it's well worth it if you want to admire the famous Chang Erawan statue close up. The museum is also worth a visit as well. Plus, if you're into taking photos and shooting video of trains, you can get some great views from here as trains go over one of the highest points on the SkyTrain network. As the Sukhumvit line goes deeper into Samut Prakan province, we come to the Royal Thai Naval Academy. If you look down from the station, you'll see a big plane in the grounds of a naval museum, which is definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. Pak Nam is in the heart of Samut Prakan province, and from here you can take a very short walk to the City Observatory Tower. You're also close to the river, and the sunsets here are absolutely fantastic. When this extension first opened, I came and explored the area around Sena Nikhom station. I found two things, a canal and an Amway store. I've never been back since. This is Phraek Sa station, and from what I've seen, it's the modern town centre of Samut Prakan. So if you were going to move here, I suppose this would be the place to choose. There's a Robinson's Lifestyle Centre, several condos, but the station itself is not very busy. I suppose when Phraek Sa gets a little bit too built up, it will spill over into this area, Sai Luat, and there's not a lot going on at the moment around here, but we're just one station away from the terminal at Kheha. So finally, 1 hour and 41 minutes later, we've made it to the far eastern outpost of the Sukhumvit line here at Kheha. In fact, we're so far flung that I've only just found space in the corner of the map here to include it. I've never travelled to this part of Sukhumvit Road before, so maybe one day I'll come back and do a video. Well, that just about wraps up our ride on the BTS Sukhumvit line. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed shooting it. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Like, share, leave a comment if you want to support me and support the channel. You can buy me a coffee using the link on the screen. There's also links to Ko-fi and PayPal in the description. That just leaves me to say thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you sooner than you think.